May 4th, 1970, Kent State University. Students have been protesting the Vietnam War for days. The Ohio National Guard is deployed to the campus at the request of the mayor of Kent, Ohio. The National Guard opens fire on a group of unarmed protesters. 28 soldiers fire about 67 rounds in 13 seconds. 4 students are killed, 9 more are wounded. The country sees this photograph, a young woman kneeling over the body of Kent State student Jeffrey Miller, screaming into history. And then 17 days later, music answers. Neil Young writes a song. Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young record it immediately. It is titled simply Ohio. Radio stations play it. Some stations ban it. Students memorize it. Campuses chant it.
10 soldiers and Nixon coming. We're finally on our own. This summer I hear the drumming. 4 dead in Ohio.
The song is not subtle. It is not polite. It doesn't ask permission. It names state violence. It names power. It names the dead. And in doing so, it shifts the mood of the country. By May of 1970, the war in Vietnam had already become wildly unpopular, but Ohio, the song, gave anger a voice. It turned grief into moral clarity. It reminded Americans that the cost of war was no longer just happening over there. It was here. Fast forward to today. In Minneapolis, federal officers shoot and kill 2 people within 3 weeks. They were both resisting in their own ways. The facts emerge fast and the official narratives wobble and ultimately collapse. Alex Preddy is killed on Saturday morning. The streets fill with protesters almost immediately. That same day, Bruce Springsteen writes a song. He records it on Tuesday. He releases it on Wednesday. It's titled Streets of Minneapolis. In it, he sings, quote, "We'll remember the names of those who died on the streets of Minneapolis." Just like Ohio, it arrives quickly. Just like Ohio, it refuses abstraction. Songs do not end wars. They don't pass laws. They don't hold office, but they do something just as consequential. They refuse erasure. They reject collective amnesia. They insist that a nation feel what it is tempted to rationalize. They turn headlines into human beings. They turn moments into memory, and they turn memory into moral reckoning. In 1970, a generation heard the song Ohio and understood, perhaps for the first time, that protest was not the danger. Silence was. In 2026, the song Streets of Minneapolis carries that message forward. Springsteen sings, "Oh, our Minneapolis, I hear your voice singing through the bloody mist. We'll remember the names of those who died on the streets of Minneapolis." These are not simply lyrics. They're a civic act. Springsteen's words remind us that history is not behind us. It is speaking to us. It asks us to consider what a democracy does when power ignores its own limits and what a people do when the streets become a test of conscience. Music cannot save a democracy, but it can remind one what democracy sounds like as it fights to survive. And sometimes in a lyric, in a chorus, in a voice that refuses to let grief be private, it reminds us of something else, that we are not just witnesses to history. We are its authors, and the next verse is still ours to write.
Now they say they're here to uphold the law, but they trample on our rights. If your skin is black or brown, my friend, you can be questioned or deported on sight. In our chance of ice out now, our city's heart and soul persists. Through broken glass and bloody tears on the streets of Minneapolis.